Age seems to be a big deal for everyone these days. It's almost a national obsession. We all know about the TV programs that promise to make people look 10 years younger. But in our business, we need to be concerned about anyone who is trying to appear older. Most games and films we sell have a rating which states the minimum age a person has to be to buy that game. Of course, we all know about the ratings logo, but too often it's ignored, especially when a 15 or 12 game seems pretty harmless because there's nothing really serious in it. Anyway, what's the problem, as long as you're selling to someone who looks older than the age rating? The problem is, it's against the law. That's why age is a big deal for us, but it could be an even bigger deal for you as an individual. If you get caught, and that's a very real possibility, then you will be prosecuted. You could be fined up to £5,000. You could get a criminal record, and you could lose your job. And that could mean difficulty obtaining future employment, a mortgage, or a bank account. But it's easy to protect yourself against selling games to anyone who is underage. Make sure you know the rules and stick to them. And if you have any doubts, call your manager. Let's look at the systems and support that help you make the right decisions. First, legislation. A code of practice has been developed by the Video Standards Council to promote high standards within the industry, and it recognises BBFC and PEGI as legal guidelines, setting the minimum age on each game. These ages aren't just chosen at random. They represent different levels of development and understanding, and it's vital that this sort of protection exists in the gaming world. Most parents and grandparents understand that an 18 film will be unsuitable for their 10-year-old. It might contain bad language, sex and nudity, violence or terror, but they take a different view when it comes to games, imagining most of them to be more fun than frightening. We are the gaming experts, and it's up to us to help our customers make sure that the games they are buying are suitable for the people playing them, whatever their age. And remember, this should be done at the bay or on the shop floor. When you invite the customer to buy, you must talk about the age rating and descriptors. It's your job and it's your responsibility. We can explain the content and how and why the games are rated. We also have the product expertise to explain the parental control features on consoles. For example, the family setting on the 360, which allows parents to decide which games their children can play. But ultimately, at the till, the only way we can protect the public and ourselves is by requesting and checking ID. If you're not sure that someone is old enough to buy a game or film, you must ask for ID. For an 18 certificate, you can accept a passport, photo driving licence, or recognised proof of age card like this. It's more difficult for 15 and 12 certificates. A passport or recognised pass card are the only acceptable forms of ID. A birth certificate or letter from a parent isn't enough. There's one more complication though, the moral issue. If you sell a game to a person you believe is buying for someone underage, then you are allowing them access to something that is not suitable. It's your responsibility to explain the age rating and content of the game to the parent or guardian so that they can make an informed decision. Remember, if you're caught and trading standards are checking all the time, then you could be fined, lose your job, and end up with a criminal record. It can be difficult saying no to a customer, so to make that situation easier, we're bringing in a refusal of sale letter, which will be given to anyone who doesn't have appropriate ID. Of course, if you're absolutely sure that someone is older than the rating on the game, then you don't need to ask for ID. And if you're absolutely sure that someone is too young, then you can refuse the sale without asking for ID. The key is that the customer looks older than the rating on the game, not old enough to buy the game. A new policy is being introduced which will help you even more. Called Think Challenge 21, it's already common in supermarkets, off-licenses and other stores. When you assess a customer's age, you need to think, do they look 21, rather than do they look 18? The customer doesn't have to be 21 to buy the game, but you will be prompted to ask more customers for ID. The result will be greater protection for you and the reassurance that you're not breaking the law. When you scan an age-restricted product at the till, you'll be prompted to confirm that the customer is old enough. Don't get into the habit of just pressing the Yes key. All transactions are logged, so every time you hit the Yes, No, ID required key, the audit trail is updated at head office. The printed receipt will also show the ID used to confirm a customer's age, so we'll know if you haven't asked the question. Another prompt shows the latest date of birth required to buy the game, which will help if you need to challenge the customer on their age. If they say they were born after this date, they're not old enough. Don't worry if this seems a lot to remember. There are regular training updates throughout the year, including quarterly refresher training at the most crucial times: Easter, summer, Christmas, when our younger customers are off school, and when major titles with adult content are released. After you've watched this DVD, you'll be given a workbook to complete, which will also act as a reference guide. And there are 2 more important points. If you're under 18, you must hand over the sale of any 18-rated game to a colleague who is old enough. And if anyone threatens you, verbally or physically, tell your manager immediately and let them deal with it. To sum up, if you have doubts about a customer's age, ask for ID. If you have doubts about the ID, don't make the sale. No ID, no sale. Because there's no doubt that it's your responsibility. We've created some scenarios to give you a better idea of some of the situations you may have to face. But these are only guides, and you will need to use common sense and initiative as well.